I'm warning you, if you value your time at all whatsoever in the slightest, do not watch this video. I'm struggling with sunk cost fallacy, but I know this video is shit. The editing is garbage. The pacing is bad. I'm forgetting things halfway through the video. Do not watch this. If for some reason you want to torture yourself, then be my guest. But don't say that you weren't warned. Mistakes were made. There were gaps of months in between the editing of this video, which led to almost everything seeming disjointed. But like I said, I've invested a lot of time into it already, and I feel like I have to upload it. For those of you that do skip it, I hope to see you in the next one. Good luck. Hello everyone, I'm Zero. It's been a while. Here's another video. As with most of my videos, I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it started out as a Ribbon Master video. However, I'm writing this as I finish the first game, and I'm having ideas of incorporating many videos from the entire journey. I might just make this a really long video and mark off sections or chapters or whatever for those of you that want to watch the full thing, and others will probably just turn this on when they're going to bed. Future Zero cutting in here. That's not happening because I'm running out of space on my OBS drive, so you're getting them one by one for now. Maybe I'll stitch them into a mega cut later, but back to the present for now. No matter how you choose to watch this video, I want you to know that I really appreciate you. And if you want to drop a like or a sub, it would help immensely. So we start off our journey by RNG manipulating for a shiny Squirtle in Leaf Green. I don't have any footage of this because I didn't know this would be a video at the time, but I took a picture with my phone to send to my friends when I got it. I followed a guide by Nick Kadabra. I'll leave a link in the description. Check it out if you're interested. It's a step-by-step guide. It's very easy to follow. He made it pretty entertaining as well, so you should definitely check it out if you want to do this yourself. Anyhow, we got our boy. I wanted to name him Slick, but as you can see, I was too excited and I spammed A instead of nicknaming him. But we'll address that later. Going on a nostalgia trip, our first game is going to be Pokemon Colosseum. I remember loving this game as a kid. I first saw Pokemon in 3D in Pokemon Stadium, but that stuff was pants compared to Pokemon Colosseum. I had to have it, and after booting up my Gamecube for the first time in probably 10 years, the first thing I did was check my memory card. I have a bunch of screenshots from Smash in here from when I was little, as well as a bunch of other saves. I know I played Resident Evil 4 a lot. I corrected the date, and then I ran into my first problem. My Gamecube wasn't reading the disc. I tried cleaning the lens with 99% isopropyl alcohol, and that seemed to help at first, but we will return to that shortly. I loaded up my save that I had apparently restarted at some point. I'll let you guys hear some of the commentary of me rediscovering this game briefly. I will warn you I was recording with my headset mic though, as I don't really sit with my studio mic up to my mouth at all times while relaxing with a game. So I'll try to make it serviceable, but if you want to skip my real-time commentaries because of it, I'll leave timestamps or mark chapters for those as well.
It's just long.
God, look at the soul in this game though, dude. Like, look at that. Like, early 2000s games were so peak, dude. I'm a whore for fucking early 2000s, like beach, tropical kind of like things, you know? Like, it looks so good. I don't even care if the game's shit. Like, it's got the vibe down, dude. They got like this cool dude with like the purple shirt and like the weird wavy hair.
Final Fantasy looking.
Doesn't give a shit about, yeah, Sephiroth looking at. Bunch of Sephiroth. They didn't care. There was no such thing as plagiarism or anything like that. They didn't give a fuck. They just did whatever they wanted. Back when nobody gave a shit.
I didn't even read what that guy said. I'm so lost.
I checked this building in the center and found some battles I could take on inside. And here we see the disc problem occurring again, but in a different way.
The disc cover is open? It is not. It's not open. Dog, what? Okay, I opened it and then closed it, and now it's back. That is bizarre. Gamecube corruptions, what is going on?
For some reason, the Gamecube seemed to think that I was opening the disc cover, even though I wasn't, and it kept struggling to read the disc, leading to it taking a long time to load things if it managed to at all. Sometimes it wouldn't, and I would have to physically open and close the disc cover to get it to start reading the disc again. After a few days of dealing with this, I decided I would just buy another Gamecube. Even though this was my childhood Gamecube, I figured it would be cheaper to buy another one that's already in working order than it would be to find, ship, and pay someone to have my original one. It didn't take me long to start getting irritated as Stinky would stop me from leaving the city without buying Pokeballs, only for me to go to the shop and they didn't sell any. Turns out you have to talk to a random NPC in the shop to find out they don't sell any despite talking to the clerk and everything. Then Stinky finally lets you leave to progress the story. Great game design. We get into a scuffle in Escade's office, and I love the battle area here, but then my cube starts acting up again, killing the vibe. I promise this gets sorted out in a little bit. Here we snag our first shadow Pokemon, followed by another shortly after, as Bluno, yes, that is his name, fills us in on what exactly they're doing with these Pokemon. Next, we end up in Pyrite Town, and this place is a dump. If you played this before, you know this section is a bit of a gauntlet. You can heal in a nearby hotel for 100 Pokédollars, but you have a lot of back-to-back fights if you want to snag all the shadow Pokemon here.
Dude, why does that f***ing lava thing look like that?
That's Slugma Balls, dude.
That's Slugma Balls?
Yeah, don't you dare diss my boy Slugma Balls.
Oh, his name's actually Slugma, right, I remember that one. It's ugly.
It's okay, he evolves into Macargo. Macargo fast.
Shut up. Macargo fast.
Oh my god, where's everybody on the block is hot, dude. Everybody on the block is getting these like dirty Pokemon.
I really hate when
How are you faster? That's horse.
Oh, they're really seeing fuck guys' energy economy right now. Like, there we go.
Why is this the game that we have to play right now?
Why do you have to play this game? Are there ribbons in this game to get?
Yeah. One.
One?
Yeah.
I called them banners earlier. My coworker's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You mean ribbons?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, that." I was telling him, I'm like, "You think you're fucking big into Pokemon?" I'm like, my friend is like going through the game with a Pokemon and getting like all the ribbons on this like RNG manip shiny.
And he's like, "Wow, your friend's a loser."
No, I was like, yeah, I should have been like, "You're a fake fan if you didn't do that."
You're literally ruining my emotion
Literally
right now.
ruining my emotion. It's a new take on emotion.
I'm literally gonna whack you over the head.
I'm literally going to beat with my.
I don't know. Hold on now. This could be bad.
Where the freak is this last fucking Earth on charge? It is.
He's gonna get me. No, he's not. Oh, you fucking loser!
So nice.
Well, sucks to suck, I guess, you know? What's the implication of that? Would like the whole universe just like implode or something?
Our whole universe is in a hot, dead state. Nearly 14 million years ago, it just started waiting.
I hope a Looney Tunes piano falls on your f***ing head or some shit.
My science history, the mystery, the bang bang bang.
You like the shirt this guy's wearing?
It's just the sleeves?
No, it's the whole shirt. Wait for him to walk back. He's wearing a whole shirt. It's just the chest is cut out of it entirely.
Oh my god. Maybe it's just like a graphic of a chest.
In total, Pyrite Town initially has on offer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 battles to take on, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shadow Pokemon to obtain. After the gauntlet, we start to learn a little more about the plot. Something about the bad guys giving out smelly Pokemon as prizes to winners of the Colosseum challenge. Stinky says we should go challenge the Colosseum. Couldn't have been more on the money with that timing. I love how we had to fight our way across town just to get here, but then be sent back to the entrance, and then told to double back this way again, just for the lady behind the desk to tell me no, with a face this short. I run around town looking for something I must have missed and get told by 2 more individuals that I indeed have to challenge the Colosseum. So I go back for a 3rd time, and again, this sorry sack of saccharin behind the counter tells me to f*** off.
I know all about you, you sorry sack of saccharin.
At this point, I gave up and read a guide because I was beginning to lose my patience. Turns out I had to walk up to a bookcase in a seemingly irrelevant building and reveal a hidden hideaway in the wall. I so desperately want to be angry about this, especially when the NPCs all just tell you, go to the f***ing Colosseum, but I was so baffled I somehow managed to tire myself out just thinking about how angry the whole thing made me. Backtracking, the game sends us the opposite way again, and the dude we saw with duking apparently came in here and stole a gear to shut down the Colosseum or something. After this, I decided to let a random prisoner out of jail because how could it possibly get worse, right? Somehow dude managed to take this gear miles away despite its size. Damn thing's nearly as big as he is. So now after doing half a movie's worth of running around, we can finally challenge the Colosseum. It really didn't live up to the hype. 4 battles and no shadow Pokemon. Dingus here screws up bad. He brought us right into the bad guy's hideout to give us a shadow Pokemon. Of course though, within seconds someone had to point it out to him, and instead of getting a free shadow Pokemon, we're forced to work for it. Settle in for gauntlet number 2. Brief intermission as we find Gear Guy sitting in a very questionable position without the given context. After saving him and reading this document on the desk that somebody carelessly left, we find out that stinky Pokemon are actually something called shadow Pokemon, but I'm done calling them that. They will forever be stinky to me. The file also reveals that they know that Stinky is out here with us, and Stinky can see that the stinky Pokemon are stinky. This guy, who's definitely not important to the story at all, and also definitely not a bad guy, stole Duking's Pokemon or something, so now we have to go get it back for him. And I screwed up. Killed a Quillfish, and had to reset and do the last hour of the game all over again. And I did it again. At least this time I had the forethought to save. I got him on the 3rd attempt by having Noctowl put him to sleep. I had to watch this, and now so do you. I like to think this individual has been absolutely losing it over the last 3 hours waiting for me to get past the hordes of people he put in our way. I imagine he's drenched in sweat and just begging for me to walk through the door so it could pay off, and then the realization hits that it's not worth it. Nevertheless, the music's a banger. We battle, and my dog actually has 4 Ludicolo in the squad. Makes me want to try that myself sometime, honestly. Also, Smelly Sudowoodo is here for us to nab. That brings the total for this section to 29 battles and 8 stinky Pokemon. Duking's Pokemon is in a room by itself in front of spotlights, and then Duking himself comes in to reclaim him and take all the credit, but then gives it to me like he's doing me a favor or something. I don't want Plusle. Y'all can have them. First dibs. Any takers? Anyway, if we come all the way back to where Mirror B was, there's actually a Peon Miracle Bee ripoff for you to fight. I thought it was kind of funny. He actually has a team with a bit of variety on it, so it's a pretty fun battle. As we're on our way out, this weird old lady tells us to go to the town where Stinky's grandpa lives to fix our smelly Pokemon. How convenient. An old man challenges me as soon as we arrive. We meet Stinky's grandparents, whose names sound like noises you make when you're throwing up. Turns out there's trouble in the grotto at the relic in the forest, and went to help, but he sucks, so we have to back him up. Coincidentally, all these goons get in the way just after he gets through here, so we get stuck fighting all of them. I have no words. Scrub surprisingly still wants to fight after that thrashing, giving us another smelly Pokemon. We learn about the relic from the living relics in town before Duking calls us to Mount Battle. I guess Cypher started taking over Mount Battle or something, so we gotta kick him out. At some point, I started resetting in Heart Gold for Shiny Eevee, and for some senseless reason, I decided to put that on the screen. At the quote-unquote top of Mount Battle, we fight Dakim. Yeah, he looks like a Dakim. Shout out to my Dakims. I hope you're as ripped as this dude. He has Entei, so I liberated it from him. The first of 3 legendary beasts. Homie gives me a time flute for getting rid of them. A time flute will instantly purify one of your stinky Pokemon. Presumably they want you to use it on Entei here, but I forget about it for the rest of the game and never use it. I was called back to Pyrite Town because Duking can't do anything himself, if that wasn't already clear. I don't actually remember why he needed me because he calls me for help so much. The things I do would make a great case study. Inexplicably, I've decided to rebattle everyone in Pyrite Town, which eats up hours of my time. I don't have a reason to do it, however, my mind seems to just go on autopilot and just engages in battle after battle endlessly. I ended up breaking into prison and stole a key from this goober passed out in the cell that lets us go down the elevator that I ignored for so long, leading to the Under. I can't explain the things I do in the past because 2 months later I forget why the heck I did it. For some reason I thought it would be a great idea to put a little camera in the corner of me resetting for Eevee even though I never got it. Or did I? As a wise man once said,
"The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma."
Met a dude named Gurks down here. He casually has a whole Wailord somehow. Seems to be a bunch of troublemakers down here, so no surprise that Gurks would love to interrupt the status quo with a whole Wailord. Some exposition happens that I don't care about, so I'm not going to talk about it. On the flip side of that, I have some exposition that I am going to talk about. We got another smelly Pokemon from a Peon and found Gear Guy stuck in handcuffs in the fence. Once again, without proper context, the positions this guy finds himself in are very suspicious situations at best. It gives us a disc for the UFO that lets us advance the plot. I don't care what people say about you, Gear Guy. You're my favorite guy so far. In a first for me, I get to interrupt live TV. I hadn't even the slightest clue that Venus had Suicune on her team. I haven't played this game in like 20 years, so imagine my surprise when I managed to catch it after I reset. After booting them out of their own broadcast station, I ripped some Triumphant Light. I also ripped a tenner or two of Space Time while I was at it. If you are familiar with PTCGP, then that might date this recording for you, but just in case it doesn't, I'll date the space between the video and my voiceover by telling you that at the time of the rips, I had about 1,000 cards. Currently, I have 5,000. Heading further under the under, I find Venus wants us to chase her. She must have been waiting a while for me to open cards. How nice of her. Under the under, I stole the following stinkies: Gligar, Stantler, Piloswine, Sneasel, and nothing else. I drive a train right quick, and next thing I know, Cypher is actually committing domestic blowing shit up. I also found another time flute that will go unused. Then it's back to Phenac so I can beat this guy and grab TM27 Return. I taught Umbreon Toxic and Espeon Protect in return. If it seems like the game is all over the place, it's not because of me. Okay, it is because of me, but the game is like that too, I swear. Play it yourself. Anyhow, it's time to enter the lab now. I just want to remind you really quick that this is a video about a Ribbon Master. In the lab, some serious business goes down. Notably, people descending from the great nothing in the endless expanse of ceiling space in here. We also absconded with stinkified Apom, Murkrow, Fortress, Ariados, and Granbull. Then I identified 2 DNA samples I found laying around here. After that, this scientist hits an alarm, which doesn't stop me from leaving or re-entering the lab. It's just an insufferable annoyance. Yoink Vibrava. Then you need to open this door with the DNA samples you identified as the code. Interestingly enough, these actually are random, but because I already know 2 of them, I just brute forced the last answer. You could brute force the whole thing, but it might take a couple of minutes. Now that we're in, it's just a matter of snagging Raikou from Dib's dad.
Why do you need this, son?
There's an alien in my guts, and he's trying to destroy my brain!
Ah, well, run along then.
After Raikou Get, we enter the last act of the game. Here inside Realgam Tower, we have to rematch all the admins, including the one we literally just beat. They all have significantly better teams, some of the best battles the game has to offer, as they should be. So far, I've purified Misdreavus, Flaffy, Suicune, and now Vibrava. I've only really used Suicune and evolved Flaffy into Ampharos, and now Vibrava into Flygon. Most of the mons from this playthrough will remain mostly untouched, except for these few, and I want to try to keep them available to potentially be Ribbon Masters themselves. I battled like almost 10 people in the lobby of this place, and after I get through all of that and get to the next area with a PC and a healing machine thing, this dude has to fight me right then and there, just to be a complete asshole. Thanks. Another obstacle that appears from seemingly nowhere to slow us down, Gonzap, aka the boss of the organization that you were in, and that you stole the Snag'em device from. I managed to snag Skarmory from him, and we leave him in the dust once again. Here at the end of the game, there's yet another gauntlet. This time, only 4 trainers, but they each have a stinky Pokemon, and obviously, we gotta catch them all.
Why you boring me? I'm right.
To put the icing on the cake, these fights are back to back. No saving, no switching your leads, no healing. So if you screw up and miss catching something, you gotta start over. Hopefully you saved after Gonzap. From these 4 fights, we collect Miltank, Absol, Houndoom, and Tropius. Then it's the penultimate fight with NASCAR. His Pokemon are a higher level than mine, and they have better moves. Possibly the reason I have nothing but bad luck since this point. I managed to capture his Metagross on the first try after 3 balls and nearly full health with a Pokeball. Yeah, that's probably something I didn't mention to any of you guys. I don't know why, but I catch literally everything in Pokeballs all the time. Or Premier Balls, which have the same catch rate. I went to grind off screen at Mount Battle and came back bigger, badder, faster, and stronger. NASCAR replaced the Metagross I stole with an Alakazam, which was far weaker defensively than Metagross. Easy peasy puddin' and pie. Now, the twist is that the fat guy from the beginning that we saw one time was the evil guy behind everything all along. He has a Tyranitar we can yoink, and that's the main story of the game beat. There's a tiny bit of post-game content, but it's not much. You can go to the Snag'em hideout and get another Johto starter, then back at the lab you can get the final Johto starter, then backtrack to the Snag'em hideout because you forgot about Smeargle and Ursaring. I was told there was another Colosseum in the under, so I snuck in and grabbed Shucky real quick. Then you can fight an evil clone of yourself for a Togetic. And after all of this, the game is pretty much complete. and I go to Mount Battle for the whole reason we came here in the first place. I'll let this final battle play while I talk about the experience a little. If you haven't already heard, Mount Battle isn't really that difficult. It's just a slog having to do 100 battles in a row. I think it took me a combined total of 4.5 hours to get through. I wasn't speedrunning it, and I'm sure I walked away a few times to grab a drink or two and whatnot. The only thing you really need to do is make sure you bring something that can hit Shedinja. My Flygon has Crunch, so I didn't have to worry about it. My strategy for the whole thing was Flygon, Earthquake, and Mantine Surf. Works out pretty well for 90% of the battles. You may have seen a shiny Marill get swapped in during the gameplay here. I don't really know how to tell you all this, but I somehow don't have the footage of Slick reaching the top of Mount Battle. I have no idea what happened to it. I know I did it because it's currently almost 3 months later from when I started recording this, and Slick is an Emerald right now. I'm really sorry, but I must have lost the footage somehow. I have this footage of the shinies I caught in Emerald going through Mount Battle, but not Slick. I know I could have edited this footage a bit to not bother bringing this up, but I just want to be honest. Unfortunately, this is the end of our journey in Colosseum, and our adventures will pick up in Emerald. I hope you aren't too disappointed, and I hope to see you all then. Hi, me coming in at the end here. I don't have footage of Slick in Colosseum. I went through Mount Battle twice, once with my shiny team from Emerald, and then once again with Slick, because I didn't have enough room for all the Pokemon in my party. And I apparently only recorded it during my first run with my other Emerald shinies. And I didn't record the run that I went through with Slick, but I do have footage of me sending him back to either Leaf Green or Emerald. Probably Emerald, but I will catch up with you guys in that game. Sorry for all the theatrics and song and dance here at the end. I recorded way too much footage and things got confusing. But I'll see you in Emerald. Thanks for watching.